Hey, everybody. Welcome to another brand new episode of Hey Man, It's Okay. I am Sky, your tour guide to this journey to better mental health.
And I'm Brian Heapy, your licensed psychotherapist out here in Newport Beach. And today I am very excited personally. We have somebody who I was very close with in my formative years. And he is somebody who has had a lot of maybe big ups and downs and is now kind of riding high in the mortgage world, has quite the social media platform. I know on Instagram, at least a few 100,000 followers, and makes absolutely some of the most entertaining content when it comes to mortgages. I can't really think of anything probably more boring, at least for myself, than mortgages. But watching men makes it actually entertaining, engaging, and informative. Welcome in. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier about how we met and that early friendship, but kind of why don't you tell us a little bit about where life has taken you since?
Well, life has taken me since 2005. Ryan and I were part of a church. The church hit a snag, and I left the church. And after that, I was wandering around trying to figure out like who I am. Or I was at the part of the church from 19 to 25. So I felt like my foundation was shooken up, and who I was as a person, I didn't know anymore, and I was lost. And because the church was very charismatic, strict, people say cultish, you don't know what's right and wrong. It's crazy. As 25-year-olds, like, is it right or wrong to smoke a cigarette? It was that crazy. Right or wrong to
Yeah,
watch certain
totally.
movies, right or wrong to date. It was insane. So at 25, so once the church fell apart for a couple of years, I was searching different churches, and it just wasn't working out, and as it wasn't working out, I started going out more and started getting a little out of control myself. And, I did that. And during that time, the mortgage industry crapped out. So on top of the church falling apart, the mortgage industry, at that time, '08 was crashing as well. So now you're like questioning everything. And I'm moving back home to my parents' house, trying to like, what's going on with life? The one thing I did learn is that when everyone's leaving the market, you want to get into the market. So I got in when everyone else was leaving. So my rise to the top was easy. And when I was rising to the top, my friends and eventually coming to work for me, because at that point I'm still probably top loan officer in Southern California because I sat through the market. And when I started making money, it really made me feel like, wow, I have power again, or I have
Mhm.
power. And because, not being raised correctly as a child, not having a great father figure in my life, you start yearning, attention. It's like people want attention from women. I want attention from men, like approval, brotherhood, what I lost in the church, what I think I needed from a father figure, which I didn't get. And so I was making money. I'm out there partying my butt off, just spending money on people, just like people were just milking me. And, then I met other friends like, I want their approval. They were dispensary owners, so they were like YOLOing it up, going
Mhm.
YOLO everywhere, going
Mhm.
crazy. And it's like, and I through that, I burned through money. I met my wife, who's my wife now, but back then I think we would have had a better relationship if I didn't put my friends first. And when everything hit the fan, also I tried to appease all my employees that weren't great employees, but because like I said, without the right foundation when I was younger, giving that, "Hey, I love you. You're great who you are. You're my hero. You're a champ." Those little words like that are like building blocks that if you don't get, which a lot of I think young men don't get anymore. Growing up, I try to pour it as much as my son, but now we're pouring that, but we got society pouring other bullshit. But because of all that, you're wandering and you're wandering and wandering. And it just probably took me a handful of years to figure out like, hey, where am I? I'm more confident in myself as a person. So once I lost all my money, everyone left me. It made me feel like, you know what? It doesn't matter how much money I make, no matter how much you can do for people, they're not going to be happy, right? Everyone will just suck the life out of you. So until you're happy with yourself, it's like you have that permanent gas tank inside of you. You don't need anyone else pouring gas to keep you going. So that I feel like for me was the big thing until I know like I am happy who I am. And of course, I got married. I want to stay married. So like I need to change my ways. And I don't want my son to go through what I went through. So I make sure that I love my son. I encourage him. I tell him he's my hero. I well proudly like building blocks so that he doesn't become his 30s and 40s and depending on other people to fulfill something that he should have known that he is okay to be how he is on the inside. And I think that's where I'm at now. The business tanked. I started doing social. And through social, what I learned the most was that I people get so upset. Oh my God, how am I gonna look on social? How is it gonna sound like? So as I was going through my pathway, social helped refine me as well. Because at the end of the day, I started dealing with so many trolls that eventually you get over it. And you know what? I'm in a good place in my life. Why am I here tripping over anyone else, caring about every message someone sent me? Because I didn't care during that era of 2017 when social became big. I bust through when everyone else was too shy. Everyone thought I was crazy on social, but I was able to, you know, get through this little hole I was in. And dude, I was negative in 2018, negative or 2017, I was negative 1.1 million. March, I
Wow.
had 660,000 because of social media. Morgan, I reversed all of that in 2018. I did that all in 1 year. And then I
Wow.
started, then I went to the bank. Then besides that, then it just started cruising up. But it made it was easier because I was confident in myself. That's how I was able to do content. And I don't care about making a fool of myself. 'Cause at the end of the day, I'm happy at who I am as a person. Maybe before 2007, oh, what's so and so going to say? What's so and so going to think? Oh, they talk smack to me. Maybe I shouldn't say this. I care too much. So now I'm at a place where, yes, I'm still working on it. I'm back in the church on my terms, but I think I'm back in more so I can build the right foundation to pour into my son because I don't want him. I don't wish any man to deal with these insecurities and these voices from like society to eat them up because it's dark out there, man.
Yeah.
So that's the story.
Yeah. Wow, what a story. How did you navigate going down 1.1 million? One of the big things that we really push here is suicide prevention. And I know a lot of people, well, also in that 2007, 2008 crash, a lot of people who took their lives, a lot of men who either lost their jobs, lost their homes. But then for you to go through it twice, not give up, come back stronger, work harder. What was that like? I mean, both the dark parts of it and the resilient parts of it.
The dark parts of it, I think 2007, 2008, I wasn't at that mental place yet. You know what? I can move back home to my parents' house. My mom's there. Move back home. That was easy one. I think having a mom, even though my stepdad wasn't like the best dad, he was a good provider. So I moved back home. I was able to, what's it called, retreat and mentally know that, you know what, I'm already at ground zero. How much worse can it get? It couldn't get any more worse. I'm back at home. So that's where I don't think that was hard. The second time was hard because there were suicide moments like, you know what? I have good life insurance. If I die today, my debt would be wiped out. My son, my wife would have money. They could be happier without me. I wasn't a great dad anyways back then. When I had my son, when I was having my son, I was still like partying like a rock star. I think I was like coked out. I almost dropped him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not proud of that. I'm saying like, those are the things that I recall. Like, he deserves better.
How old was your son then?
He's 10, but back then he was he's 10 now. This was like 2017. So it's like him. I was 37. So he was like what 3-4 years old. So it was I thought about that the most, but then I felt like for him, I'm the biggest wuss that I gave up so easy. And do I want him to live the life I did? If I need to stay alive so that he would not have to experience what I experienced in life. And that helped me fight through. And at that time, dude, it was crazy that time when everything went down in March 2018, we sold our house. My wife moved to this house in Tustin. I moved back home to my parents' house again. And I think about this. I'm 37 years old, about to turn 38. I lost all my money. I was like dude, pop balls all the time, living this great life. Now it's like everyone saw my humility because I still live in Orange County. So think about, I go out and about. Oh, that's the guy who lost everything. That's the guy who's like, dude, people like even my friends, they made fun. Like they talked behind my back. Men, how did men lose it all? What the f did
That's
he
so
do? Like
frustrating.
it was suicidal.
Yeah. Wow.
It was sad. It was sad. It was hard, like to lose everything, but not just to lose it all, to see the same. It's like you stepped on you shit, but you go to school the next day and everyone saw that you stepped on, or you shitted in your pants, and every day you're in class and everyone know you're the guy who shit in his pants. And to live through that, to fight through that, of course, I cut off some friends, and of course, I lost a lot of friends because like I don't have money to hang out anymore. I don't have money to spend going out anymore. So like I lost everything, and those are the times like I think my son helped fighting to make sure that he didn't live what I went through kept me going. And then it was hard. It was like literally, it was hard. It was like the hardest thing ever. Of course, when everyone loses everything, they run back to God. So it was November 2017 when I saw that bill of 1.1 million. I went to this church. I think it was a Hillsongs actually, and they did an altar call. And brother, I like, you know what, God, I know I fell away. I rose my hand. Of course, the one time they bring people on stage, I was the only guy who raised his hand. So I got brought on the stage when no one else was on stage. They prayed for me, and literally the following week, there were some things with loans. I scratched and dent a bunch of loans. It's kind of like I sold the loans and I ate losses. So I ended up owing 660,000 by January 2018. And that's what I had to work with to pay off. But I think as I put my head down fighting for my son, like I said, I'm not getting religious or anything, but that since that day, I saw like it's like the heavens opened, and literally 2000 March, I started writing Facebook ads. By May, the tidal wave started moving. I'm talking about you had nothing. I was holding on my last 50,000. I was making slow payments because we had a lease that I co-signed, my brother signed for me. And of course, I'm not letting my brother's credit go to crap because he had to sign a personal guarantee. I had to like chip off a little bit in 2018. I owed 660. I also had to pay that lease. I'm slowly chipping away. Holding on my last 50,000 as I sold my house, and May happened. And I put my head down and I started working and working. And that's when like you're in the darkest part of your life. When you're in the dark part of your life, you gotta work, you gotta stay busy. When you don't, that's when the voices come, right? You're what? Right? You hear all this dude, it's like this death comes looking for you and whispers like, you're not worth it. Just kill yourself. You already have the life insurance. I wanted to drive into a wall and just end it off. Right. And then what would my son like? Why did dad do that? You know, and it's like, dude, I was sitting there in a car in the parking lot at the AMC in Fullerton, and there was a wall and I was sitting there ready to go because my parents were in Fullerton. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This is so when I saw it was 660,000 month of March, I couldn't I just out of that 50,000, someone had to pay some bills just to fend off creditors, you know?
Yeah.
And like, dude, did not see the light in the tunnel. I started running my Facebook ads. No one was responding. April, I started seeing some response, but people weren't qualified. May happened. And all of a sudden, the volume just picked up. And from May until November. So it only didn't take a year. It only took May till November, May, June. So June was my first paycheck. June, July, August, September, October, November, 6 months. And it got wiped out. And if I didn't focus on trying to kill myself, or then like I stopped listening to voices, I got out of parking lot. I was like, I don't know if you've done it, like when you think about killing yourself, you get this adrenaline rush, and then you just get like, when you stop doing it, like convinced, like you get this like your body, this tingly feeling, like your body aches, like you're about to like, I don't know, like when you're like, I'm gonna do this shit, it feeling to just shake. Oh my God, I don't believe I was gonna fucking do it. It was like that real, and not stop that. And then yeah, just it was dark. And then there was, as I'm going to like, oh, is my wife gonna date other men? Is she gonna suck someone else's dick now? What the fuck? All these things run through your head. Like someone else is gonna raise my son. I'm like,
We start running through the worst case scenario.
oh, bro, every worst case scenario. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm getting like the chills right now just thinking about when I was I was ready to crash the car. I was ready to slam on the gas and just, dude, it was some cheap car. Dude, there was no airbags. It was my parents' old Lexus. So I'm like, dude, if I'm hitting this thing is like killing me on this. So it was pretty crazy, man. And then I got through it, and so through that time though, I only saw my son once a month because I was so busy working for a couple months, like March, April, May, June, July. That's when I started seeing him more because I was focusing on work. Even though I didn't see him, like, you know what, I gotta change. Like once I tried to run to that wall, it didn't happen. I'm like, all right, I gotta change. I started drowning the voices out by working a lot. And that time, even though like I did do the altar call, I wasn't talking to Jesus or anything. I was just had a, my son, I can't get him to do this shit. I can't get him to do this shit. And then I slowly started going to church after that. So that's it, man. And that pretty much that year, I reversed it all. I signed this big deal with US Bank after that. And after that, I was like, okay, this time, God, I'm gonna keep it right with you.
Unbelievable. So you actually almost remember a moment where it was like the fork. I mean, really, that moment in the car, it was a fork in the road of, you know, we can go this direction or that direction. And then you had God on your side.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, dude, it's like when you're thinking about it, oh, I'm there to do it. And then as things get worse, that never going to do it. It just starts getting so much easier this way, so much easier this way. Just become, and then all of a sudden it just consumes you. That's all you're thinking about. As I'm out calling realtors, outdoor knocking, talking to people on social media, trying to get business. That's all you can think about. This is so hard. This is so hard. If I can just end it right now, dude, I can't do this. And the words like you're embarrassed too, like you have no money to, like, you lost everything. I'm still living in Orange County. Will my wife leave me or will she not leave me? You know, I'm like a laughing stock. I think that too, like caring what people think about you because, you were the man and then now you're not the man. And that for some reason is so important to people. And it was important to me. So it's like hard to say, why would acceptance from others be that important? It's important enough to make you feel embarrassed enough to kill yourself. That's how fucking important it is.
Shame is absolutely one of the most powerful emotions. Yeah, it really is the emotion that that pushes us to stay in the tribe, right? Otherwise, we're kicked out, and we start having these thoughts, and we go from the big house to our parents' house, and then are all consumed by these things. And I always kind of frame depression as like this myopic tunnel vision. It's all we can see. We can't see any other way out but to just give up, and that almost becomes its own self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
You know? What are some things that you've done to keep yourself on the right path, to not go back to that old lifestyle, burning cash, partying, because you had your kids back then too. I mean,
Mhm.
for a lot of people, that's a motivator, right? But the fun, the lifestyle was a bigger motivator then, and the adoration, validation, admiration. Yeah. So what are some things that have like really kept you on the straight and narrow? Because it sounds like you're doing better than you ever have before.
Yeah. I'm not making the money I made back then, but I'm happier now. Because back then when I made that money, I'm also having to entertain a lot of people. So I was like yacked out most of the time out of my mind.
Mm.
Now I feel like I'm not doing as well, but I'm still doing good. I'm still better off than most people. And I'm like living a good life. But the difference now is this. Number one, I think if I happen again, my wife would leave me. And I think she's the best thing that ever happened to me. So that's why I probably wouldn't do it. That's most of the reason is like the fear of her leaving me
Mm.
is important. And I think now I'm 45. Life is so challenging why you would go out and do that. And I'm on the internet a lot. So I'm like, I don't want to get caught on the internet acting like a fool. Because if I do, then people see it and then I'm all over it, then it kills my business. I think that's the second thing. That's honest truth. It's not anything crazy. It's like, though Orange County is my accountability. If I run my ads in California and in the four main counties, but if I'm sitting with some girl that's not my wife, someone's gonna snack a picture of it and post it. Dude, this guy's out and about. Or I'm out somewhere. Like I said, I don't want to get caught doing something because Big Brother's watching, not because I need their approval, because it does affect my business. Why I wouldn't do it. That's probably the main reason why. At the end of the day, it's still tempting. And then, in the day also, I don't want my son to know, I think like you said, shame, but it's a different type of shame. I would not want my son to like my dad's still like that or he's a piece of shit.
What are some things that you really want to impart in him?
Oh,
Especially coming from home, but without a father? Is that
say again? No, so
yeah.
my dad and my dad, I didn't know that well because my mom didn't want me to know him because he was, part of the drug trade in Vietnam. That's how they helped my mom escape to America from Vietnam. So I didn't know him that well. But my stepdad was there, but it was never like typical Asian stepdad or Asian dad, just there to provide, but no love, no encouragement. So now to my son, like I always tell him I love him every day. I tell him I'm proud of him and I tell him why I'm proud. There's only, I'm proud of you, but tell him why I'm proud of you because of this. I'm proud of you because of that. Like my son, we can afford to buy him nice clothes. He doesn't care about nice clothes, doesn't care about nice things. He cares about just being happy. He's going to be who he's going to be. He doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He sucks at football, but he will keep playing it. And like, you know what? He'll drop the ball and keep going back out there. Whatever he's not good at, he just pushes through. He just, for me or most people, when we're not good at something, we're gonna give up. There are the few that fight through it, but a lot of people don't. They go the easy route. So he does it, and I tell him because of that he's my hero. So those are the things I encourage him. But I'm still fighting, even though I'm telling him that, and I'm pouring all these amazing things into him. But because of YouTube and the internet and society these days, brain rot, roadblocks, dude, they're like pouring other shit in him. So I'm like, instead of just pouring something and not worrying about, I wish my parents would pour into me. Now I got to pour into it and block the other noise from what other people are saying. You hear about the guy and this lady convinced this kid to throw her sister off like couple story building, and kid died
Oh, crap.
because
I did hear that.
what some person on Roblox kind of like
Oh
befriended
my
them
gosh. Yeah.
and then do it, you know?
Yeah, I've
What,
heard
what,
about that.
wow. What does your son think of your social media profile?
He thinks it's great. He
Right?
knows. Before he would tell me like, how do people know you? I told him I deliver a DoorDash, and those are the people's houses that I show up at, because I don't want him to think we're in this great position or we can do all this, to keep him humble, you know?
I'm sure when he grows up, he's going to be so thankful for the kindness and the love and the encouragement, because not a lot of people get that. I mean, it doesn't sound like you did very much. So what a difference you're making in his life. That's so cool.
Yeah, I just wonder, because I see it. You start seeing other people's kids as well, and you can see the ones that their father isn't involved in their life and see how they are. And you're like, dude, I'm trying to be there as much as I can. We have a neighbor, his name is Teddy. Bro, this kid, when he goes home from his dad's house because his dad cheated on his mom, he has to take off his clothes and hands it back to his dad. So he has to get, except for his underwear, he has to take off all his clothes in front of his mom and whatever, hand it back to his dad, and then go upstairs and change to his clothes. Shit, like, that would F a kid up in his head.
Oh, damn. Yeah. You know what I just thought of though, is like how cool these podcasts might be to your son in the future.
Oh, yeah.
And something that we never had, which God, I would love to have had just an hour of my dad being talking about what made him tick and what he wanted to impart in me and his arc and his story. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, dude.
Yeah,
Just to hear
right.
that.
And so what are some things psychologically wise that you try to impart to your team, to people you work with, to keep them going? I mean, I've known you since you were young. You have a pretty insatiable drive. You have a pretty innate work ethic. But how do you help others, find that same drive?
Right now, like, there's a good amount of people on my team. What we go through is that I don't think people think so big all the time. Legacy is built brick by brick. You know, you don't see the full picture all the time, and everyone feels like they're waiting for this perfect situation or the picture to be drawn out in their head. Maybe you got to pick up a brush and start freaking slapping some paint on a wall, and then you might start seeing something. But all of those people who, there are going to be the few that, oh, that person they had in their head, but that's the anomaly. Majority of people, I think, just start painting. And so you start seeing something. And most people don't want to paint because they have that fear. Oh, they're waiting for the perfect situation. Life is not perfect. I think that's the big thing that I drive my team. Like, you're waiting for some perfect situation that's not going to happen. And when it does, you're going to miss the moment because you weren't ready for it. And do you still want to be where you're at 5 years from now? Because think about all the people that took a chance. Where are they now? Where are you now? And, and that's the one thing I really impart to people. Like, it's kind of like a fear, but a healthy fear, in the sense like, if you don't do it today, you're going to be left behind. And I see so many like guys who work on my team, like, they don't want to make the calls or they don't want to stay late. They just wait. Oh, I'm waiting for this perfect situation. Or I mentor people who do content. They're waiting for this perfect situation to do content, and it never happens. And now, like, pretty much social media is almost dead. It's all chat GPT, AI now. And that's the next thing. It's like, hey, here's your next chance. But, oh man, what, maybe I can wait till this and this. And, like, it never happens. So that's my biggest thing. Like, hey, to start painting.
You're speaking to me now because I have had that stop, start with social media for, gosh, probably since 2017. And now every day kicking myself for what I didn't do. But then that same kick is the procrastination that keeps me from doing it today. And like you said, now I'm like, but now I'm coming up with another excuse. Like, now social media is dying. It's all chat GPT. So I don't know. I guess I'll wait for the next movement to happen. And really, it's just being okay with being authentically yourself, not giving a shit what other people think. I'm my worst critic. I get on there, I shoot something, I want to reshoot it again. I don't even want to look at the edits because now I'm looking at myself and I'm having to hear myself talk, and there's nothing more painful than that. So I really need to take a page out of Min's book and just sit down and do it and get over it. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
Oh yeah, it is hard. And I think I'll tell you right now, you know why? Because you were a stud. Growing up, you were a stud. people that were studs growing up,
Mhm.
good-looking women, they're horrible with content. You know why? Because they're looking for this. They've been told they're good looking. They've been told perfection
Mhm.
for so long that if they don't see perfection, they don't want to do it.
Mhm.
They put the content on the pedestal because their whole life. I haven't been good looking my whole life. So what the worst that could happen to me? You know? But
Mhm.
because of that, it's like I'm running a race and I'm alone in the race. I'm gonna win for sure. It's not like we got 10 guys who are faster than me, but they're too busy making sure they got the right Nikes on. I'm already done with the race. I'm wearing my Payless shoes because then when I grew up wearing Payless shoes, I didn't know better.
Mhm.
And that's the big thing. I think where I tell, a lot, that's where a lot of fear comes with a lot of people. It's like they put it on the pedestal.
So
Well,
Ryan was a
yeah.
popular kid in school is what
Oh
you're
yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
you knew
yeah.
Ryan, you're in everywhere,
Yeah.
dude.
You're not wrong. I was listening to you talk on this other podcast about your buddy who's the shadow. I hope that wasn't me. But I mean, really related to that. And it's something I've really struggled with over the last like 5, 6 years, maybe, is I had so much kind of handed to me. Whether I fell into the nightclub scene, but I ended up at the front door of Tao, right? The greatest club on earth. I didn't have to do anything for friends, women, food, drinks. I mean, it was all thrown at me, right? And then all that gets ripped away and people stop blowing me up. I mean, back then I had to gatekeep of where, what energy was coming in, who I was letting in, that kind of thing. And then all that's gone. And now I'm like, where did it go?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Now I have to put out some effort and energy and actually become the friend that I hoped would find me in a sense. But a lot of times it is kind of pushing yourself through that rejection, through that shame, really trying to, I don't know, it is such a balancing act though, because you can kind of make a fool of yourself. You can flip up. You can kind of get kicked out of the tribe. So I don't know. It's tough.
I think it's okay to be out of the tribe. I think that's the thing. It's okay not to be part of a tribe. It's okay to be alone. You ever in a room with a lot of people and you just feel by yourself?
Sure.
You want to walk up to people and start talking to
Mhm.
somebody. Sometimes it's okay. You don't need to talk to anybody. Something in us. Oh, am I just here not talking to anybody? Am I by myself? Let me go start a conversation with somebody. And then let me be the loudest person in the conversation as well. Instead of, you know what? It's okay being by yourself. It's okay that no one's talking to you. It's okay. And it only becomes okay until you love yourself, which is kind of corny to say, but I love myself enough to not care what others feel and think. And I think that is the mental health I think we need to have in society. There's a thing recently, it's actually in Cal Matters. You might want to look it up. I think when they pull it up here really quick. So there's something in Cal Matters. It just came out, an article came out last week or 2 weeks ago. And the video, dude, it was dead. Also, it popped up. California men are quitting life, work, and family. It's really big, Ryan. I'll say the thing, but because California's, dude, it's like the worst of the worst though.
Wow. Yeah. And Cal Matters is like it's like a bureaucratic organization, right? Like they
They're
have this,
nonprofit.
yeah.
They're nonprofit, but they're kind of left wing. But they have their numbers. They have their
Mhm.
statistics. I agree with a lot of their stuff. So
Mhm.
they show all these numbers in California. Like, dude, it's crazy out here. So and I feel like in men are the worst because the stress and the pressure we have to carry, not to live life, but like to enjoy life. And it's like in everything in California is about status. It's like that's what's pressuring men to, dude, I can't do this shit. Let me stop. Let me give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so you think the real trick is to embrace yourself, embrace who you are, be okay with it. It's okay if it's not for everybody, and find that self-love.
Yeah, you got to just cut the noise, man. You guys got to cut the noise. I think the noise is louder than what we think because
sure.
you wear something because what people are going to think about you. You want to be a certain way because what people are going to think about you. Do something that what you think about yourself. Dude, my son wears these Aladdin pants, bro. It's not, people wearing backpack. No, they look like Aladdin. I'm talking about, I start calling him like a whole new world. I make fun of him. He doesn't care. That's why he's my hero. Like, he just doesn't care. So just be happy with who you are. I'm like, ask him where you wear it. It makes me feel comfortable. That's it.
So speaking of your son, we have to go into the younger generation is really where it starts, is where we start bettering the mental health going forward, right? As we learn as men how to pass it down. What are you going to share with your son about your journey and the struggles that you had? Or have you thought about what if he asks about it?
He asked about it. He asked about it all the time. I told him, like, you know what? Dad cared too much about what other people think. I cared too much.
Mm.
It's like you have your journey in life, and every time someone says something, you start going around what they think. So you lose focus of where you need to go. You say, oh, I'm gonna do this. Maybe you should do this, and say, okay, maybe we should do this. And it's like all of a sudden you're not on the pathway of where you want to go. You ever eat with somebody and they pick the restaurant and you don't? You're sitting there lost as hell trying to find shit around the menu. Instead of you should have just spoken up and say, no, I want to eat here.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how it is. You
Yeah,
have the
you
whole
lucked out.
restaurant be comfortable the whole time because you're not eating what you want to eat, and you want to be polite to them and not say shit on where they pick. But in the day, you know what? You can eat here. I'll support you, but I don't like anything here. But I'm saying, even if you eat the food there, you're not happy. But at least you got to say it out and get it off your chest.
Not
They're
the
not, no,
vegan
just
restaurant
like,
again.
yeah. I think that's the worst. It's like eating at a restaurant that you don't want to eat at, instead of you going where you really want to eat at, and you see the satisfaction of you eating there. That is a perfect example, I think, is that in life is that we always eat where everyone else wants to eat. We don't get to eat where we want to eat. And the moment we do, it's, dude, serenity. Like, oh my gosh, you know?
Uh-huh. Man, we're getting close to the end here. Where do you see yourself, and what kind you spoke about legacy. If you've acquired a ton of wisdom, you've had these huge ups and downs, you're at a pretty solid place in your life. You've got a son who is just coming to an age where he's really able to look up to his father and have real conversations with him. Where do you see yourself really focusing on? And what do you, knowing you, I know you want to build. And so what do you see yourself kind of building in the future?
I'm actually taking right now, I'm learning how to become a day trading a little bit. I'm getting better at it. If I can master day trading, I would probably do a lot more free education on the ups and downs in life. You know, like what I would pour into my son, I might as well just tell other people, hey, do this, don't do this, you know? I think I'm getting a point where like I can be good enough day trader where I don't care about making money in mortgages. I think I would still be on the internet, but I would be more true on what I believe and not believe, or like hey, this is a bad idea, this is a good idea. I think that's where I want to be. I want to be good enough trading, you know, where I can teach my son how to trade, because I think where his skill set's at, I think he's gonna have to learn how to trade or do something where it doesn't require academics. And I think that's where I'm putting my energy into, because I think at anything, if you put your energy into it and you put it all in and you actually have a purpose that's like, besides making someone else happy, you can do it. And that's what I truly believe too. So that's why I'm focusing my energy in that. And as I do that, I'm going to grow my SoCal Min page, because I think, you know, in the day, I love California and I try to go different places, dude. I'm staying here. So like, I going to focus more of my energy on that page, and just, you know, that's about
Wait,
it.
what's the SoCal Min page?
So
was
I have
even,
my mortgage page, which I'm probably going to shut down by the first quarter. It's my main page, but because of partners with Adam and Cenas and all that other stuff back, like too many partnerships and too many bad things happen, it's time to just end it all and do my new page. And everyone tells me, "Oh, you can like, are you afraid to lose your what's a mortgage?" Like, that's what I'm telling you. I'm not attached to a thing. I'm attached to myself and my sanity. So that's why this new page I'm rebuilding, but it's like I'm not as fearful as I was before, because I'm attached to myself, not attached to someone else.
I mean, seriously though, how brave. You've built this thing up. What do you have? 350,000 or
I
something
have
like that?
334 on Instagram, or 324 on Instagram, and 211 on TikTok. Yeah.
Wow. And you're already planning on letting it go.
Yeah. I think it's, you know, it's so toxic with all the things like bad partnerships, bad decision. It's like, you know what? It's time to just walk away, do something else. Or I'm still doing mortgages, but do my own channel. But it's just not there in the cards for me. You know, I choose my sanity over making money. Even though I'm gonna be all right, things are cool, but I choose my sanity because this is too much with it.
Well, good for you.
Social media, man. Good, yeah, good for you, because it's so hard for me to do. I struggle with it, so good for you for sticking to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate having you. It was fun to catch up.
Yeah, man.
Tell everybody where they can find you. Obviously, but I don't know, maybe not What's a Mortgage anymore. SoCal Min is where it's at.
You can find me on Instagram on SoCal Min. I'll be there.
Awesome.
And that's MINH. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet. All right.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. Sky, take us out.
All right, great. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hey Man, It's Okay. We want to thank our guest today. We had so much fun. Min, I hope that we can talk to you again. And you guys, until next time, it's okay to not be okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Hey guys, peace.